I've decided to use the old exhaust outlet, which was on the other side of the boat, and now it's going to be on this side. So it bolts through the side of the planking, and there's a couple of fittings that go on, turn into a 2-inch copper pipe. It had this nice, oh gee, that doesn't fit. Yeah, it's going to have to be that way. So I'm going to have to put it upside down to what I was thinking. I hadn't actually tried this on. It's got the 4 holes in it, and they roughly line up in this thing. I've got to make up some nice slot-headed silicon bronze bolts to bolt this on, so it'll look nice. And I'm going to fit this to the surface of the hull and then glue it on, and then I'll take off the primer in this area, probably around there somewhere, and glass this in place so that it becomes part of the hull. But it'll have to fit a little bit better than this before I do anything with it. That's a bit of a mess. I had started to fit it that way, and it was a much closer fit. Still not very good, but I'm going to have to do it that way now because that's the way the 4 bolts line up in this fitting, and it needs to be pointed down like that. I think looking at the side of the boat, the top sides, when I got the boat, there were dribbles all the way down towards the water lines. So I'm going to put a splash plate, probably a bit of polished stainless, and it'll slip under here when this gets bolted on. So it'll actually come out at an angle like that, so that and it'll go from this side to that side, so that anything that does dribble down will hit this plate and then drip off vertically without actually dribbling down and making a mess of the top sides. So that's where I'm at, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'll now start fitting it with the arrow pointing towards the gunnel rather than the bottom, and see how it goes. So I'm using this chalky undercoat primer to put marks on here, so I'll know which parts are touching and which parts aren't. So I'm going to do that, and I'll just once I've sanded those marks off, I'll put it back on, give it a little bit of a rub. And then I've got a mark there, a mark there, a mark there. It's pretty messy.
It was good that I had some small clamps that would fit inside that hole. So when I applied the glue to the piece of timber, I was able to clamp it in, I don't know, 3 or 4 places to make it fit. Made the job very easy. The only glass I had available to cover this exhaust outlet patch in was 600 grams per square metre. So it was a bit of a struggle to get it to go around all these little corners and small radiuses. So eventually got there anyway. Just took a while. The final part here is to add a little piece of peel ply. This helps to hold the glass firmly against the surface that it's on, and it stops air bubbles from forming underneath, so works out good. This also means less sanding afterwards, so when this is all dried and fixed up and the peel ply is off again, I'll give it a sand and then reapply some more filler and sand it all back fair and undercoat it again. You won't see that in this video, however.
Now that you've seen the exhaust outlet put onto the boat and glassed on, I'll show you what the rest of it's going to be. You've already seen that piece, which is the outlet. What was originally in the boat was that outlet was bolted to the similar sort of plate that I've now got back on the boat, and went through to the inside. That screwed on, and then there was a fitting that screwed onto here permanently, which allowed for a universal joint fitting, which would give you a little bit of leeway in terms of the angle of the pipe, but that would screw on. And then that went about, I don't know, 600 millimeters to a plate, which joined to another plate to a piece of 50 millimeter tube. So we started at 50 millimeter tube from the engine, went down to 38 millimeter tube here, and then down to an opening of about 32 or 33 millimeters at that point, and then out the boat. It never got back to 50 millimeters. So I'm going to do away with all these fittings and use a copper elbow, 50 millimeter, and turn this out, and silver solder will braze a piece of 50 millimeter tube in here, and then I'll be able to put that whatever angle I need it to be, and add a piece of tube to this end. And I may even be able to have this tube go up and down, like bend it up towards the boat and then down again to meet up with the flexible exhaust pipe. So that's how it will end up. I talked about silicon bronze slot head screws. I think I'm just going to go for copper bolts to bolt this onto the boat. So easier and cheaper to make. So that's what I'll do. So thanks for watching this episode. I think that's enough talk about exhaust systems for now. It's all going to sit as it is anyway for a while until I'm ready to put it in. And I'll probably put it in into the boat at about the same time as the rudder, which also has its own set of problems, which we'll come to later. But that'll be it. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.